Welcome back. We are back again this week with the 15 key marketing metrics that you need to know in your business through the V3 growth system. This is part 2. We started last week and we're back again with part 2. So we talked last time about visibility through the metrics, and this time we're talking about viability. And maybe we'll finish with valuation. But if your marketing is busy but it's unpredictable, these are 15 metrics that you need to know so you can figure out like where your business is actually stalling and where you need to go. What to fix first. Anywho, we are Nate and Simone, and we talk all things marketing. And before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you get our notifications and our videos are more visible by more people. So we can help more people with all this great content that we're putting out. Anywho, how are you doing, Nate?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thanks. Just fine. Um, yeah, so I was just kind of doing a quick search here because the marketing metrics that we're talking about here are coming from an author, an entrepreneur named Mark Jeffery, and kind of wanted to give a quick, who the heck is Mark Jeffery? So he has authored several different New York Times best-selling books. And he has founded Guardian Circle, which is an app-based personal safety network for friends, family, and neighbors. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for him, by the way, so just so you know. But his previous companies include The Palace, which was backed by Time Warner, Intel, and SoftBank, and sold to communities.com in 1998 with 10 million users. 0 Degrees, which was sold in '04 with 1 million users. This Weekend, which he co-founded with a couple of guys, Kevin Pollock and Jason Calacanis. Can't say that right. And that was called Mahalo.com or Inside.com, which is backed by none other than Elon Musk, Sequoia, and Mark Cuban, and others. You might have heard those names.
I think I've heard of Sequoia.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of Elon Musk and Mark Cuban.
Yeah, true.
Um, he also consulted for several years with the founder of Uber, Travis Kalanick, on his first company, which was Red Swoosh.
Hmm.
So this guy has been around the block with the entrepreneurship, and the idea here is that he probably knows a few things about
Growing a
marketing
business, right?
metrics, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what are we talking about here today? Viability in terms of like how do these marketing metrics that we're talking about apply to viability or help increase our viability or help us track the viability of the business, probably a better way to put it. Yeah. So, the first one is TCR, that's an acronym, stands for Transaction Conversion Rate. So the question here is, are your prospects becoming customers? Crucial, right?
Right.
What
Yeah.
what what good does having a bunch of prospects or a bunch of leads do if none of them are going to end up paying you, right?
If they don't convert. Yeah.
Yeah. And the decision that it can help you make is, it can help you to create clarity around your offer. So if your offer is not quite checking the boxes for people, right? Then that could be the thing that's hindering them from taking that leap and, giving you the money and you kind of exchanging the service, right?
Yeah. So
Um,
if you have a lot of prospects, a lot of leads coming in, that means that they're responding to that initial marketing message that it's attracting them. But then they see the offer and they see all that's included or not included, then they realize, oh, this is not for me. So there'd be a disconnect there if
yeah,
that rate isn't that conversion rate isn't high.
Yeah. Maybe the offer is not what they were expecting or what they were hoping for or what they really need. So it kind of depends.
Mhm.
Getting feedback on that and kind of seeing, okay, they're not converting, so something must be wrong. So let me look at my offer, right? That's a great place to start. Risk reversal is also part of that, right? So oftentimes, especially when we're talking about services, having a risk reversal baked in. Actually, it could be really anything. SaaS often has very common for SaaS to have risk reversal, right? Try it free for 14 days or 30
Right.
day
Yeah.
free trial. If you don't like it, money back or, just, you know,
Or
no,
you can
no,
leave without
yeah,
no
yeah, no, without paying. Yeah,
consequences, no contract required, that kind
yeah.
of thing. So it's like,
So,
yeah.
but oftentimes having a risk reversal baked into the offer is the thing that pushes your clients over the edge and says, oh, like making the no-brainer, deals, right? Like Hormozy talks about, right? You feel
Oh yeah,
stupid
like
not
having
taking the
a
deal. Yeah,
right, having guarantees. Like you can't,
yeah.
this is an offer with no risks to you really.
An offer you can't refuse, as the,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Godfather, right? Um, And another key thing here that can help you make a decision or that you may want to start thinking about if you're having trouble with converting prospects is what is my follow-up cadence, right? So I've spoken to this person, I've presented them with what it is that I can do. Like I've kind of felt out what their problems are, how I can help them solve that. We've gone through that process, and now they're kind of okay. Well, let me think it over, situation, whatever that may be. What does your follow-up process look like to keep that momentum going? And if something is off there, maybe that's the culprit for or the reason why they're not converting. So
Hmm.
that may be the give you help you kind of figure out maybe I should change that up, change something up in there, start testing
So like
different,
maybe you're not staying top of mind. You promise
yeah,
to get back to them. Um, maybe they need to did they need to think about it?
yeah,
Or did they need to ask a spouse, ask a partner to make sure that this was that they wanted to move forward? And if you're not following up, mm, they could have forgotten about you because life gets
yeah,
busy.
yep. So yeah, so transaction conversion rate. So that's a key metric to pay attention to um, when it comes to building viability in your business. Because obviously, if you don't have paying clients, it's going to be really hard to grow your business, right? So, or to keep things going.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah,
absolutely.
that's definitely needs to be, and incidentally, obviously more important than the number of social media impressions, right? Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully you see that. Um, okay, take rate is our next one. Acceptance of a key package or upsell. If you present something to your customer, what is the rate at which they actually take that offer? Another way to put it. And the decision in this case that knowing this information can help you make is it can help you to simplify your choices. So maybe the problem is that you have too many options available. And um, there's been studies on this actually where having too many options actually makes people unhappy. Um,
Yeah.
which is
It's like it's
odd because
decision fatigue.
decision
You
fatigue,
get
exactly. Yeah.
paralyzed by so many choices,
Yeah, we've talked
you
about
know?
this. You go to a
Yeah.
grocery store, you see how many choices. It's just a mind-numbing array of choices. And
Yeah.
oftentimes, a good chunk of these are just from one company, right? They're just wearing you down.
And
Like,
they
fine,
say,
I don't care, just grab one. I need to get
especially
out
in
of
like
here.
the cereal aisle, right? You go down the
Yeah,
cereal
yeah,
aisle and there's like 15 different boxes of
yeah,
cornflakes. And it's like, which of these is the one that I want?
yeah. So in this case, they're kind of using that against you, using that decision fatigue to their advantage. when they know that they have purchased enough shelf space that they feel comfortable doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've limited your choices, in other words.
Yeah.
Um, but if you are out there selling services to people, it's a different, that's the Wild West. Like people can talk to anybody, right? Like um, their choices, people's choices are not as limited, let's say. And
Yeah.
so, if you can streamline things, help make it easy for them. Okay, this is what you do. This is what you're having to offer. This is how it helps me. I get it. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, and
Um,
make it clear what the difference is between the choices. I think
yeah.
one of the things that online retailers have figured out is that when you give, especially when it comes to SaaS or even sometimes like coaching packages and different services like that, they'll give you three choices. And the idea is you tend to not go for the cheapest, and maybe the most expensive is, maybe out of your range. You may not need all of the services in that package. And so the ideal is to go for the one in the middle. And that's the one that the company actually really wants you to go for,
Yes, exactly.
you know, and it cuts down on that decision fatigue. You've got three choices, and it's not super hard to figure out which one works best for you.
Exactly. Um, I was just looking back through this. I think that I actually gave you the information about the wrong Mark Jeffrey. There's apparently
Oh,
more than
really?
one. I didn't realize. Uh,
There's
Goodness.
multiple Mark
Okay.
Jeffries out there.
Yeah, didn't realize that. Did not realize that.
Oh,
Um, oh boy. Okay.
okay. So I have to look up his bio and give you
Yeah,
the real
yeah.
deal.
Scratch everything that I just said about him. I think that was the wrong guy. Anyway, so
Okay.
um, yeah, take rate. Apologies for that. Um, Going along with that, for as choices go, and I think what you're talking about, Simone, is like the
Mm,
psychological tool known as anchoring, right? Where you have
hmm.
three different options available with the, low price, high price, and middle price. And your goal is to get them to buy the one in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And
And
you're
they'll actually point you to that one. This one's the most popular. This one is the best deal.
yes,
They'll
yeah.
have
You
like
see that
little
on websites
banners
all the
on
time.
there like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And
That's
there's a component in there too of like, well, if everyone else is doing it, it must be good, right? So that's the assumption, the unconscious sort of like, groupthink, the
yeah,
situation
yeah,
that goes
true.
into that. Anyway, reframing bundles can be another decision, another way that it can help you to make a decision here around what your offer again. So if your customers, the people that you're talking to are not, again, not taking you up on your offer, maybe you need to
Mm,
reframe the bundle. Maybe you need to switch things around a little bit, make it more
mm.
convenient, more palatable to your audience, right?
Yeah, maybe more of one thing, less of another thing.
Yeah.
Um, adjust the
Or
pricing of
or
the
add this in
bundles.
there, the thing that was not in there before. I go ahead and add that in there,
Yeah,
situation. Um, I've run into
absolutely.
the situation where I'm like, I want to charge for this, 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 and I'm
Mm,
thinking, you know what? I'm already doing this. This doesn't cost me. There's not like a baked in cost to this right now. And
mm.
so for me to wrap that in there as a value add, oftentimes I'm like, okay, that makes more sense because then you're increasing the overall value
Yeah,
instead of, which is a better thing to do, by the way, than reducing your price, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and they've done studies on this. Like they talk about like the whole idea of there are all these different pieces that you want your client to pay for, but itemizing it out, just it causes more friction. And it's like, well, what am I paying for? I don't want to pay for all these different things. Whereas if you create a bundle out of it and include the price of all of those different things in the one bundle, the client actually feels better. And they've done studies on this with like shipping, right? So if you can say something is $15 plus $5 shipping, and people will, I mean, there'll be a certain number of people who'll go for it. Okay, that's fine. But if you say it's $20 and it includes shipping,
Right,
or
free
or
shipping,
it's
yeah.
$20 and it's free shipping,
Yeah.
oh well, that's the one I want, even though it's the exact same price. You paid
Yeah.
the same, but
Yeah.
people don't like to be
You're
nickel and dimed, honestly. Like, just
well,
include it in
yeah.
the price.
Yeah. And maybe it's the inclusion of the word free there, right? Like,
Oh,
oh,
well, that's true
I'm
too. That
getting
could be
something
true too.
free.
It's like, oh, I'm getting something extra. I'm not just
Yeah.
getting the thing that I'm paying for. I'm getting something a little bit extra.
Yeah. This is I think the same kind of the same line of thinking that goes into gas station pricing where it's like
Hmm.
2.99 9 like like
Oh yeah,
it's
with that,
actually free
yeah.
but you know
You're thinking, yeah, but can I
that
get
that that there, that
away
might be
from
a
that other
difference.
nine?
That's a slightly different thing with the psychology of pricing, but like
Yeah,
whole numbers tend to be more like perceived as being luxury versus like these 99s, 97s, which
97s,
have
yeah.
have like a perception of value baked into them somehow, But
Yeah. And
people
it's
think
like
it's kind of hard for because it feels still feels like they're getting more but paying
you're getting
less.
more, but you're
Yeah,
paying less.
yeah,
I'm not paying $100. I'm paying 97. I'm paying
yeah,
99.
yeah,
And but I'm getting it for less than $100.
yeah,
I'm getting the same value for less than $100. Uh,
yeah. Um, so anyway, another decision here that knowing the take rate can help you make is how to present your timing better, right? So um, maybe the fact that they're not taking you up on your offer is that the timing is just wrong. So if you can get better at that, figuring out when is the right time to offer this thing that you're offering, it can increase your take rate in that case. That's the idea.
yeah. I think that's
Um,
especially true with like upsells.
yeah,
Say you're running a coaching program and you want to present your upsell when your client gets to a certain point.
yeah,
Um, maybe a certain milestone, or they're near the completion of the current package that you're on. You don't want to present it too early. And it's like, okay, I I'm only just getting started. Like, I haven't gotten any results. I haven't gone anywhere yet. And you're already trying to sell me on something else. And you don't want to wait too late, um, until like after they've made the decision, like, okay, I already know what my next step is. I'm gonna go with this coach over here who's gonna take me to the next step.
yeah,
So it's gotta be, that timing uh has to be really thought through.
yeah. Um, okay. Very good, very good. So TCR, transaction conversion rate, and take rate. Now, ROA, return on ad dollars spent. Actually, ROAS, right? Return on ad dollars spent.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm thinking, isn't it
Yeah,
ROAS?
ROAS. But anyway,
Return on ad spend.
yeah, we probably have.
Hmm.
I'm sure everyone has seen that somewhere. ROAS, ROAS, and I think it's actually a metric, pretty common metric in ads. I know I've seen it on Facebook ads and Google ads for sure.
Yeah.
So the decision that knowing your ROAS can help you make is how to reallocate your budget to the top performing ads. That's one thing, right? And by the same token, pause the ads that are underperforming. So and the return obviously is going to be, well, did I get have I gotten revenue from these ads based on the amount of money that I've spent? So that's the key there, right?
But wouldn't it also depend on the objective of the ad? Because maybe for some people the objective isn't sales. It's maybe just leads and increasing your
Well,
email list
according
or
I just looked it up. According to Google's AI overview,
Mhm.
it says that ROAS is a key marketing metric, measures the gross revenue generated for every dollar spent on advertising.
Okay. So it's
So
revenue. But
yes,
okay. So it's not necessarily, well, yeah. Okay. Return on ad spend.
it's
So,
assuming
well,
that
and
your goal
ultimately, if
is revenue.
you're,
Yeah,
yeah, ultimately, if you're a company and you're running ads,
yeah,
ultimately, it's profit, right? Your ultimate objective is that bottom line, that profit line. And so it is ultimately bringing revenue. I was just thinking of like,
yeah.
the different stages of ads that you do, because
Right.
sometimes, especially if you're trying to bring people in for a high ticket offer,
Yeah.
your offer, your ad offer isn't going to be buy my thing. It's going to be come to my workshop or download my lead magnet. It's going to be join my free community. And once you're in that free community, you're now part of that group of potential buyers that this person has gathered.
Yeah.
And ultimately, they may not sell you on something that they're doing right now, but maybe 2, 3 months down the road, as they're pitching you and as you're becoming a part of the community and you're in there talking and interacting and doing their free trainings and all that kind of stuff, um,
Well,
then
this,
ultimately you buy something that they have to
yeah.
offer.
So the
But
question
you
there
came in
is,
because of the ad.
are you attributing it to the ad then, right? That's the question.
Yeah.
And I would say you probably would. I mean, consider, but even though there's been considerable amount of discussion and offering in between there, the fact
Hmm.
that you can attribute that lead and the fact that you were actually talking to this person to the ad originally, I would say this is a key conundrum here, right? For businesses that have longer sales cycles.
Yeah.
How in the world do you track that and the attribution, right? Like this
Yeah.
is a constant issue with ads. How do I go about the attributing um, the revenue that's generated, where it came from. So just as an
Yeah.
example, I'm helping with a campaign for a client currently, and we're doing awareness-based ads, right? Which the goal there is specifically not to create leads. It is to create awareness about the brand and be
Hmm.
ever present and seem like we're just constantly there, right?
Hmm.
Constantly bombarding with what the brand has to offer. And then that gets paired with an actual more focused bottom of the funnel lead generation campaign as well.
Hmm.
Um, but there's one case in point for sure that I know where the individual clicked on the lead generation ad, but did not um, actually. I think they did. They filled out the form, right, for the actual bottom of the funnel ad, but they clicked on the link in the follow-up email the automatic follow-up email that they were given
Hmm.
that I helped set up, and they went to the website and filled out the form on the website,
Hmm.
which is which is how they um, told us, where they were coming from and what they were interested in. I might have that backwards. Maybe originally they did not fill out the lead, but they did click on the ad. I think that's what it was. So we were able to see that they clicked on the ad, came to the
Hmm.
website, got a follow-up email and then filled out the form from
Fill
that.
out the form from there.
And
And if
so
you
is
ask
it
them like, where did you hear about us?
right, right,
Oh, you sent me an email.
right?
Not that they
That they're
saw the
only
ad.
going to remember the last thing that they did, right?
Yeah.
That's usually how it
Yeah.
goes.
Somehow you got my email. You sent me an email somehow.
Yeah,
And I decided to take action from there. But ultimately they first saw the ad. I think
yeah,
there are metrics within high level where you count like first attribution and then like second attribution, that kind of thing.
yeah,
I haven't really dug into it, but yeah, it's yeah, with ads, it is sometimes hard because you're they see the ad and then they may see something else at some point. They may react in some way, and then they end up seeing interacting with you in a different way, but that's the one that they remember. They
yeah.
don't
And so
remember that initial ad.
having the ability to track that could be very important for this reason, right? So that you know what your return on your ad spend actually is, and you can, adjust accordingly, right?
Mhm.
Um, to again reallocate budget to those top performers. Okay, this is the ad that's driving a lot of our revenue, right? Versus this is the ad that, isn't really doing much, so we can pause that one or take it down and replace it with something else. That's the key there.
Okay.
All right. So your next up is payback. So this is the time to recover your customer acquisition cost. And the key decision that it can help you make in this case is um, helps you to find which motions that you're taking, which actions that you're taking um, tend to have a faster payback, right? So you can double down on those. And you can adjust accordingly and prioritize as needed around that so that you are maximizing your time and effort for the return that you're getting on it, right?
So are we talking here about shortening that sales cycle as much
Well,
as
it's not
possible?
not. I mean, yeah, yeah, what, yeah, exactly. So this would be like sales velocity,
Mhm.
the concept of sales velocity. How long does it take for you to close and see a return on the amount of time and effort that was spent in getting that customer to where they are, right? Um,
Okay.
and I guess, the one thing that people don't really factor into customer acquisition is the time it took, you know, the time and the effort that was taken in the meetings,
Mhm.
whatever kind of follow-up, manual follow-up was involved in there. That's hard to calculate every time. But, if you really want to figure out what actions are most valuable in terms of the payback that you're getting from it. You gotta track this stuff,
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
for your own health and sanity and the health and sanity of your business. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, so Yeah.
And
Okay.
then and then next one, the last one here is profit, obviously. Ooh, we like that word, right? What is it?
Finally, profit.
Some people claim that revenue is itself a vanity metric, right? Profit is what feeds the family, is what they say,
Yeah. Where did we
right?
hear that? I saw
I can't remember.
and I posted it on Facebook. I was
I've
like,
I've
oh,
heard it
this is a
before.
good
Yeah,
quote.
yeah.
I think it may
Which
have
I
been one
can
of our
see.
guests, coming to think of
Yeah,
it.
it's possible. I can see this. It makes sense. Um, but I mean, you got to have that revenue to begin with. So, you know,
Right.
you can't
So
you can't
yeah,
just completely ignore it.
revenue coming in is like your initial step, but then
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot
getting
that
to the
goes into
profit.
that profit. Yeah.
Getting to the
And so
profit
this
is the goal.
knowing what your profit is obviously helps you make important decisions here. So, for example, tightening your scope. of your offer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, tightening the scope of, and I guess offer it goes, time that it takes is also part of that, right? Just tightening things up, becoming more efficient, more lean, I think is key there, right? Because you're saving time and money in the meantime, becoming more efficient, which leads to more profit, right? Um,
Yeah, in the contracting world, we used to IT staffing contracting, we used to talk about scope creep. You
yes,
know, the you
yes,
go
that's
to the
common.
you have a requirements with your a requirements meeting. Sorry,
Yep,
what was that? Okay. You have a requirements meeting with your client and they outline all that they want
yes,
and and you agree with your client, okay, this is what is included within this particular project. You decide on a price and you start to go.
yep,
But as you're working, oh, well, we'd also like this and also we'd like that. And let's change
yeah,
this around and change that around. And next thing you know, the what you charged for this project, which included your time and effort and hiring and all the rest of it. All of a sudden it's out of hand because now you're changed the scope of the project. So yeah,
yeah,
and which definitely eats into that bottom line number. Absolutely.
yeah. Um, Definitely. That's like the number one thing that eats into profit, especially if it's like project based,
Mhm.
that's the killer, scope creep. Um, go Kind of going along with that too is having discipline around your pricing, right? If you're constantly willing to kind of bend and, give this discount here, this discount there, that starts to eat into your profits, right? And so making sure that you're tracking how much profit you're actually making, you know, especially if you're trying to make your customer happy by giving them discounts and that kind of stuff. There's only so far you can go, right? before before it starts to bite. And there's something to be said for, building goodwill between yourself and your customer, which I, big believer in that kind of thing. But at what cost? This is the question.
Right.
So,
You do have to, I feel like you have to create boundaries around it and
yeah,
not let the customer think that a discount is always on the table. It's always on offer. Um, because then I feel like it starts to devalue your offer. There are groups of entrepreneurs out there who believe that the word discount is a bad word.
yeah,
It's like it's like saying a four-letter word. Don't say the D word, right? We're not offering discounts. It is, it may be a gift, it may be an incentive, but it's not on the table all the time because our product, our offer is super valuable. And to offer you a lower price for for a certain amount of time, or as a one time deal, that kind of thing, it's a gift to you. It's not, we're not saying that the price of this thing could be lower if we wanted to, but it's only at the price that we offer it because we just want more money. No, the what we're offering is valuable. And
yeah,
so having discounts can be detrimental depending on your business.
yeah. Um, and of course, knowing your profit. can also help you to figure out how efficiently you are delivering on the service or the product that your customer is paying you for, right? So this kind of goes into the time thing, right? Like how much time is it actually taking you? And can you kind of shave off those minutes, hours, days, to increase your overall profits in that case, and continue to make the client happy. Obviously, they're going to be happy if it's faster, but that might mean that you need to charge a higher price in order to get it done in a short amount of time. So
Yeah.
again, going back to pricing discipline, this is all interconnected. Cannot have one without the other here. you know,
Yeah.
um,
But also speaking of delivery efficiency, it could speak to like if it takes too long to deliver your offer,
yeah,
that's an internal process
yep,
issue too.
yep.
Like
May, what
maybe some
stumbling
systems
blocks?
aren't in
Yeah,
place. Yeah.
what was there a lot of manual friction in there that could be automated to help improve
Mhm.
efficiencies, and decrease human errors, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Are there SOPs in process where people don't have to keep running back and forth to the boss or to their supervisor to ask,
yeah,
how do I do this? How do I do that? What do I need to do here? What do I need to do there? And then just put something in place where they know what to do. They just do it. And they know if they come to a decision point, all right, these are uh, these are the measurements or what you need to look at in order to make a decision on your own.
yeah,
You don't need to be running back and forth to the boss.
yeah. And in this case, if we are talking about automation, looking at profit, having actual hard numbers that help us to make the case for automating a process is going to be, that just this is really what you need to have in order to help you figure that out, right? Instead of just kind of automating stuff just for the sake of automating stuff, you may end up automating something that's broken, which doesn't
Right.
lead
You
you
don't want to
anywhere.
do that.
So get clear on it first, figure out what the process is, and then, go from there. And then obviously, shorter payback protects your cash flow and yeah, your optionality, So something that our audience can do out there is to do a 30-day handoff sprint. So define one next step at each stage, add proof at the decision moment, and commit to a follow-up cadence, whatever they may look like. So let's think of an example here, handoff sprint. So um, I guess the handoff here would be, coming from lead to, sales to delivery, perhaps. Like what are the steps that are being taken internally in the company? Um, define each of those steps so it takes the customer along the path to that next stage. And looking at the metrics at those stages to help you make the correct decisions along the way, and then committing to making a change, whatever that may look like. It may be where you need to have, a follow-up in place, especially when it comes to following up with prospects to help increase, as we said, the transaction conversion rate, the take rate, and all that. So that may help. All right, let's get into. Should we get into the next one, or what do you want to do?
It's up to you. Do you want to do a part three?
Now we could do a part three. We don't have anybody lined up for next week anyway. So
Okay.
um, yeah,
Well,
this is
yeah.
this is. I think this is good. I think this is useful information.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think out there? Let us know in the comments if you're finding this useful. I know sometimes like a lot of this is kind of heady to some degree. Like if you're a small business owner and that kind of thing, you're probably thinking, this is all just gobbledygook, alphabet soup, letters here and there. Like, what I really care about is, am I making money? How much is it costing me to make that money? And
Mhm.
what can I do to improve that, right? So,
Now, those are questions that these metrics actually answer.
yeah, they dig down into those questions and get
Yeah,
into the actual details,
it
right?
gets deep. I
The
think
devil is in
for
the details, as they say.
yeah, I think for an average small business owner, um, maybe they shouldn't worry too much about like each and every number and calculating each and every metric, but be aware of them and actually be able to see know that they're out there and be able to see like, okay, um are as my leads are coming in, how many of them are actually converting? And then as they're converting, how long is it taking me to deliver? And you know, I've spent a lot of time and a lot of effort to acquire this customer. Am I getting out of it the more than the effort that I put into it? Right? I mean, those are
Yeah.
some basics really that every business owner should look at,
This
whether
is
you
this
know
is
them
for
specific numbers or not.
well, and I think it's key to point out that this is the type of information for business owners who are already past the stage of, I just need money coming in the door right now, right? I
Mhm.
need I need just to get a client. This is like when you have clients and you're looking to maximize your processes, to maximize your profits and that kind of thing, and really kind
Yeah,
of
so you can go to that next
streamline
stage.
things, yeah,
Right,
and get things dialed in, right?
right. You don't want to go to the next stage in your business, like and like really start putting more money towards advertising, boosting the number of leads you're getting so that you can, boost revenue and ultimately boost profit if the systems that you already have set up are broken and they're just not working right. Right. So you want to make
Yeah.
sure that these are you looking at them, that they're taken care of, and um as you put more gas on the you give the car more gas, that you're
Yeah.
going in the right direction. You're
Yeah.
not like going over speed bumps.
Yeah, it's not there. You've moved past the point of I keep spending more money on ads, but I'm still not getting leads, right?
Not getting leads, exactly.
There's a lot that you've had to overcome up to this point because you have your ideal customer profile figured out. You know who you're targeting with these ads. And now it's just a matter of, okay, how can I maximize the money that I'm spending on these ads, you know, to really make sure that, my time is used well, the energies and the activities that I'm doing are focused on, increasing efficiencies, and decreasing the overall cost that I'm putting into this business, right? So definitely not for people in that first early survival stage and trying to build things up. So yeah.
Right, right. So there we have it. Thank you for watching us today. If you learned something today, put it in the comments, let us know. And what was your biggest takeaway? What was that aha moment that like, I need to actually be tracking that. Right? So if you had that moment, let us know. Put that in the comments. And we're gonna do next part 3 next week. So we'll see you then. Have a wonderful day.